FPL Gameweek 3 team selection. What is up everyone, how's it going? FPL Era here and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. If you watch my transfer plans video during the week, you'll know that Nkunku has left the team, but I do have another free transfer and I'm looking to use it. So in this video I'm going to show you my transfer plans and team selection ahead of the Gameweek 3 deadline. We've lots to discuss, let's get into the video. So before we get into today's video, quick reminder as always to drop the video a like and let's hit a like goal of 80 likes on this video. So head on down there, give the video a like, and if you are watching this video and you're not subscribed, or if this is your first time coming across the channel, first off, welcome to the channel, but you know what to do. Head on down there, click subscribe, turn on the notifications. We are on the road to 10k subs. Hopefully we can hit it this season, and with your support, we definitely can. So very quick look back to Game Week 2, as we did speak about it in the last video, but 75 points of the Game Week wasn't a bad week at all. We did unfortunately get a red arrow and we dropped from 1.3 million to 1.5 million overall. To be fair with the ranks, they're very swingy at the moment. You just need one good week to rise up a couple of 100,000 places, so I wouldn't be too fussed about the rank, but we are in a good position at 1.5 million overall. And as well, a lot of managers have used a triple captaincy chip. If you did use it last week, fair play, you got a monster score with Erling Haaland. Let me know in the comments below if you did use it, in fact use your triple captaincy, but I will be saving it for later on in the season for a double game week, and hopefully we can get close to that 17 points or maybe even more. Alongside Erling Haaland, we got some nice returns, starting off with Emil Smith-Rowe, who picked up a goal against Leicester. If you've been watching my YouTube videos over the last couple of weeks, I've been raving about the new Fulham signing, and thankfully he got his goal, picked up all bonus points for a monster 10-point haul. He's up against Ipswich this weekend, so fingers crossed he can get another return against a leaky Ipswich defence. And then the Arsenal and Liverpool lads came up trumps once again. Liverpool and Arsenal both keeping a clean sheet for the second time in a row this week. And then Jota and Saka both picked up an assist for some decent returns in midfield. So that's the good from Game Week 2. Moving on to the bad, unfortunately, Eze drew a blank for the second time in a row this week. To be fair to Eze though, he has been very unlucky not to have returned so far. Had a perfectly good goal ruled out in Game Week 1, and then he smashed the crossbar in Game Week 2. Easily could have been 2 returns in 2, but a lot of FPL managers are getting rid of Eze, and he's actually projected to fall in price tonight at the time of this recording. We'll chat about what my plans are with Eze over the next couple of weeks later on in the video. After he got his return in Game Week 1 with Newcastle down to 10 men for the majority of that game, I had high hopes of an Alexander Isak return, but unfortunately he had a very quiet game against Bournemouth, and Anthony Gordon owners can count themselves very lucky that he came away with 10 points from that game after Newcastle were very poor throughout. It was also very disappointing to see Lewis Hall left on the bench. At least he did play in Game Week 1 where he did get his clean sheet. I'm going to have to decide what to do with him now, so stay tuned for later on in the video for my transfer plans. To finish off then, you know Nkunku has already left the team, but to see Chelsea score 6 goals and Nkunku left on the bench, very hard to take. It was a game he easily could have returned well in if he did play, but yeah, he's left the team. That's how we fared out in Game Week 2. 75 points to the game week. We are in a good position at 1.5 million overall. Hopefully we can get a green hour this week, but let's move on now and start planning ahead for Game Week 3. So planning ahead to Game Week 3, here's the clean sheet odds ahead of the weekend's games, and Arsenal are ranked first for the chance of a clean sheet with a 48% chance of keeping a clean sheet against Brighton in the early kickoff. To be fair to Brighton, they've had a very good start to the season, a very convincing win against Everton in Game Week 1, and then a late win against Man United in Game Week 2, so you wouldn't be that surprised to see Brighton grab a goal at the Emirates, but with Gabriel in my team, 2 clean sheets from 2 so far, so it's been the correct decision going for Gabriel over Vardiol, and hopefully he can make it 3 from 3. Moving down the list, Man City are ranked second for the chance of a clean sheet with a 42% chance of keeping a clean sheet against West Ham in the late kickoff on Saturday evening. Vardiol owners will be hoping they're not disappointed once again after Ipswich wiped out that Man City clean sheet last week, and Man City were the absolute clear favourites to keep a clean sheet. And then moving down to third, Brentford are ranked third for the chance of a clean sheet against Southampton this weekend. Flecken has probably been the pick of the 4.5 million goalkeeper so far, so if you have gone with Flecken, fair play. Me myself, I've gone with Henderson, and he has been very disappointing so far to start the season. And then looking through the rest of that list, it's not great viewing for my own team. I have Trent, I have Lewis Hall, and they're not in the top 8 here on screen. Just Vardiol ranked first, but I am probably looking to get rid of Lewis Hall, and I'm probably looking to bring in a player from one of the teams on screen here, so hopefully we can get some clean sheet points over the weekend. Let's move on now and have a look at the predicted points ahead of Game Week 3. So looking at predicted points ahead of the weekend's games, after his hat-trick against Ipswich last weekend, there's no surprise to see Erling Haaland ranked first with a predicted point score of 9.8 points against West Ham in that late fixture on Saturday evening. Mo Salah isn't too far behind him with a predicted point score of 8 points in that Man United game on Sunday. I'm a Man United fan myself. I'm not too hopeful going into this game on Sunday. I fear Liverpool could do very well against us, but hopefully Mo Salah can stay quiet. And then Cole Palmer finishes off the top 3 with a predicted point score of 6.9 points against a very leaky Crystal Palace defence. Chelsea have a great run of fixtures now over the next couple of games, and after getting rid of Nkunku, I've got no Chelsea attackers, so I've got slight FOMO over the next couple of weeks not having any Chelsea attackers. But hopefully Palmer can stay quiet this weekend. I'll probably be happy enough if he just comes away with one return. I am expecting Chelsea to get a few against Crystal Palace. But the way my team is structured at the moment, I can't get the Palmer, so I'll be hoping he stays quiet or just come away with one return, and that'll be alright then. Let's move on now and have a look at my transfer plans ahead of tomorrow's deadline and see how I'm using my second free transfer. So looking at my transfer plans ahead of the weekend's games, this transfer on screen has already been locked in. I made this move late on Sunday night when Nkunku was set to fall in price and Rodgers was set to rise in price. Since then, it has happened. Nkunku has fallen to 6.4 million and Rodgers has risen to 5.1 million. And then at the time of this recording, Nkunku was set to fall in price again. So by Friday morning, Nkunku is probably going to be priced at 6.3 million. The troll as he is, he scored in the Europa League conference game last night, albeit from the spot, but he did play 97 minutes. So if you have kept faith in Nkunku, I'm not expecting a start from him at the weekend. So I'm just glad to get rid of him and bring Rodgers into the team. Aston Villa have a great run of fixtures over the next couple of game weeks also. Leicester, Everton, Wolves and Ipswich. So hopefully Rodgers can get a few returns over the next couple of weeks. And fingers crossed he starts off the weekend well with a return this weekend. So as mentioned, I do have a second free transfer to use, and with Lewis Hall moved to the bench against Bournemouth last weekend and also playing 90 minutes in the Cup during the week, there's a chance he doesn't even start the Spurs game at the weekend. And to be fair, I'm not even expecting Newcastle to keep a clean sheet in that game, so I'm looking to get rid of Lewis Hall out of the team. And then I'm looking towards Konsa of Aston Villa. We're staying on team with the Aston Villa players. Rodgers has already made his way into the team. I'm looking to add a second Aston Villa player in Konsa. As I said, they've got a great run of fixtures upcoming over the next couple of weeks. Leicester, Everton, Wolves and Ipswich. So there's high possibilities of clean sheets over those run of games. And hopefully Konsa can get a good return over the next few. So here's how my current lineup is looking ahead of the weekend's games, and starting in goals we've got Dean Henderson of Crystal Palace. He's up against Chelsea this weekend, so I'm not expecting a clean sheet from the Palace shot stopper. Hopefully he can pick up a few save points from all the shots he's going to face of that Chelsea attack. Looking at the 4.5 million goalkeepers, it probably wasn't the best decision going with Crystal Palace's Henderson. They haven't been the best defence to start the season. Flecken probably looks to pick at the 4.5 million keepers, as we were chatting about earlier. 7 points in the opening 2 games for Flecken, and he does have a decent fixture up against Southampton, but there's absolutely no point in wasting a transfer on a goalkeeper, so I'm going to have to keep the faith in Henderson. To be fair also, after the Chelsea game, Crystal Palace have a decent run up against Leicester, Everton and Man United, so there's a possibility we might get at least one clean sheet over those games, so I'm going to have to keep the faith and save the transfers there. Let's move on to defence now and see how I'm shaping up ahead of the weekend's games. So moving on to my back three, I haven't locked in the transfer as of yet, but it's looking very likely that I'm going to be taking out Lewis Hall and bringing in Konsa of Aston Villa. As we spoke about Villa's fixtures already, great run over the next few: Leicester, Wolves, Everton and Ipswich. So fingers crossed, if I do bring in Konsa, hopefully we can see a few Aston Villa clean sheets over the next few. If you're unlike myself and you're stuck for cash, if you only got 4 million, if you're looking to get rid of Barco and you needed another defender, Nedeljokovic could be a risk worth taking. Matty Cash is set to be sidelined for the next month or so, and Emery has hinted that he's going to keep Konsa at centre back, and that should mean Nedeljokovic should play right back. It's a small bit of a risk, but it definitely is worth the risk if you are stuck for cash. But I am expecting Nedeljokovic to come into that Villa team, as he has played some minutes in pre-season and he has played in the opening 2 games also. On to Gabriel then. We've already spoke about the Arsenal defence, favoured for a clean sheet this weekend, so fingers crossed Gabriel can make it 3 clean sheets from 3. And then finishing off my defence, Trent Alexander-Arnold, 2 clean sheets in the first 2 for Liverpool. I'm still not sure how Trent has on Hull. Very unlucky not to get an attacking return against Ipswich in Gameweek 1, and extremely unlucky not to get an attacking return against Brentford last weekend. So maybe this is the week he does get his attacking return. But yeah, that's the back 3 for now. Let's move on to the midfield. So moving on to my midfield, you can see I'm sticking with a 3-5-2 formation, and we'll start off with Smith Rowe, following on from his goal against Leicester last weekend. He's up against Ipswich this weekend. Absolute bargain at 5.6 million. He's already risen in price this week. One thing to note about Smith Rowe is that he's getting subbed off around the 60 to 70 minute mark, so hopefully there's a fast start to that Fulham and Ipswich game, and hopefully Fulham get a few goals in the first half, and fingers crossed Smith Rowe gets involved. On to the man beside him then, Eze. At the time of this recording, Eze is actually predicted to fall in price, so by Friday morning he's potentially going to be priced at 6.9 million. All I can say is take it easy on Eze. He's been very unlucky not to return in the first 2 games. Had a perfectly good goal ruled out when it should have been a goal in Gameweek 1, and then he smacked the crossbar in Gameweek 2. A return is coming from Eze. He picked up a goal and an assist in the cup game during the week, and against a leaky Chelsea defence, I wouldn't be surprised to see Eze get a return this weekend, and hopefully he does. We then move on to our new signing Rodgers of Aston Villa. I'm expecting Aston Villa to bounce back from the defeat against Arsenal last weekend. He looked very lively in that Arsenal game. I was probably very unlucky not to return, but hopefully he can get a return against Leicester. He's played the full 90 minutes in the opening 2 games, so I'm not expecting him to be rotated anytime soon, and as I said, at 5.1 million he could be serious value over the next couple of games. Saka and Jota then complete my midfield. They've had a great start to the season so far. Jota very unlucky not to have hauled in the opening 2 games, missed a few chances, and if he continues to play through the middle, it won't be long before there's a haul from the little man up front. And then with Saka then, great start to the season for Saka, a goal and 2 assists in the opening 2 games, and I'm expecting another return against Brighton this weekend. That's the midfield. Let's move on to the strikers. Alexander Isak and Erling Haaland complete my starting 11, and starting off with Haaland, I don't need to give any explanation at all why he gets the armband. Ranked first for predicted points this week. I'm expecting 2 returns from the big man up front for City, and hopefully we do see a double-digit return from Erling. On to the player beside him then, Alexander Isak. He hasn't had the best start to the season, along with Newcastle. Blank last week against Bournemouth. He did fair enough get an assist in game week 1, but a lot of managers are actually transferring out Isak this week. All I can say is definitely don't transfer out Isak. Isak did very well in this fixture last year. I'm expecting goals in this game, and I'm also predicting Isak to get his season up and running with a goal, and hopefully he repays the fate. With me playing 3-5-2 this week, it also means I'm going to have to bench Chris Wood once again this week. He does have a decent fixture at home to Wolves, but I am predicting Smith Rowe and Rodgers to score more than them, and hopefully I'm right with this decision. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's hit a like goal of 80 likes on this video, so head on down there, drop the video a like, and if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Head on down there, click subscribe, support the channel. We are on the road to 10k subs. Hopefully we can hit the 10k this season, and with your support, we definitely can. I'll see you all on Saturday morning for a deadline stream where I'll be locking in my Gameweek 3 team, and hopefully, as I said, I make the right decision. I'm benching Wood. Maybe I might change my mind, but for now, Wood is left on the bench and Smith Rowe and Rodgers stay in the starting 11. Thanks for watching. Best of luck for the week. I'll see you in the next video.